Okay then, so we're going to do, as I said, a muscle relaxation exercise. So just first of all, just get comfortable in the chair or wherever you are sitting, and just uncross your arms and your legs, and I just want you to close your eyes or lower your eye gaze to the floor. So first of all, this is a really useful exercise for helping us to calm our threat system, okay? So when we feel under threat, our muscles tense up, ready to fight or take flight. And so keeping the muscle tense is one of our body's way of trying to keep you safe. And one way of letting your body know that you're safe is to deliberately relax all our muscles. So this exercise, progressive muscle relaxation, it involves tensing and then relaxing all of our muscle groups in turn. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to start with our feet. So let us just notice what our feet feel like on the floor. Notice if you're wearing shoes, what your shoes feel like. Notice what that is feeling. And then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to curl up your toes and tense your feet up. Just notice the tension for a few moments. Squeeze them and release. And notice the sensation of relaxation as the tension drains away. And now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to shift your attention to your lower calves or lower legs, okay? And just notice what they feel like, whether or not they're leaning against the chair, or just how your clothes feel with them resting against them. And then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to try and tense up your lower legs. So squeeze them, squeeze those lower legs, squeeze them as hard as you can, and release the tension. And now this time, I'd like you to shift your attention to your upper legs, so your thighs. Just allow yourself to notice what they feel like as they sit against the chair. Notice whether or not there's any tightness or anything. And then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to try and squeeze your thighs, okay? So squeeze them as hard as you can. You might notice drawing your legs together towards your knees. Squeeze them as hard as you can. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release the tension. Now I'd like you to shift your attention to your bottom. Again, notice what it feels like as it's sitting in the chair. And just notice if there's any kind of little niggles there as well. And then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to squeeze your bottom cheeks together. Squeeze them and tense them up. Squeeze them as hard as you can. And release the tension. And notice what that feels like, that feeling of releasing that. Now I'd like you to shift your attention to your stomach. Just again notice what that feels like, whether or not your clothes are resting against it. And now I'd like you to imagine and notice drawing in your stomach. Squeeze it and draw it in as if you're pulling it all the way to your spine. And squeeze and tense it up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release the tension. And now I'd like you to shift your attention to your shoulders. Just notice if you've got any tension in there. It's often a place that we do because we sit at desks or tables and things for work. But just notice what it feels like now. And what I'd like you to do is draw up your shoulders to your ears and squeeze them up and raise it like that, and squeeze, 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 and release the tension. And just notice what that feels like as you release that. And now I'd like you to shift your attention to your face and your jaw. We can sometimes hold our tension there. So just notice what that feels like, what your jaw feels like. And then I'd like you to scrunch up your face as if you're like really squeezing it up. Scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. And you squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release the tension in your face. And notice what that feels like as you've released the tension. And now I'd like you to shift your attention to your upper arms. Just notice again what they feel like. And then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to draw your upper arms towards your ribs. So pull them into the sides of your body. Just pull them in together and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release the tension. And just notice what that feels like. And lastly, I want you to draw your attention to your hands. Just notice and place them on your lap there, and just notice what that's like. And then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to squeeze your hands into a fist. So squeeze your hands as tightly as you can. And squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release the tension. Just notice what that feels like. And as we've done that, just allow yourself to kind of scan your body and notice what it feels like now that we've released the tension in our body.